Mic check. We ready? I think we're ready. Welcome to MAPP Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the most recent episode of The Walking Dead. You guys let me know you can see me clearly, hear me clearly, and everything's good. Once in a while they update the OBS. Some settings get changed without us knowing, so as long as I don't hear any, oh, we can't hear you, whoop-de-whoop, we should be all good. How do you get Doomsday Kingdom issue number 1? If it's sold out, it's sold out, but we still have Signature Series left. We'll discuss that another day. www.doomsdaykingdom.com. Anyway, and I believe their second print, issue number 1's pre-order is still open. We'll discuss that coming up this week. But this is the live after show. If you're new here, I'm going to give my first impression review of the episode for the first 15 minutes, and then for the remainder 45 minutes, sometimes we run a little bit long, we're going to dive into the comments live and pull some fan feedback. Let me just double check. This looks like it's off center a little bit. There we go. Let me squeeze that in there. Okay, so yes, I did like the episode. I do feel like there is a little bit of drag, though, when it comes to certain storylines between, like, let's say, Carol's storyline, for example, and Morgan's. I think those are the dominant ones where I think, especially for Morgan's, it's happening in a way where it needs to link and sync in with Fear the Walking Dead. So it's not like they have a lot of flexibility for his character arc. His character arc needs to follow the beats leading into Fear. So I feel like that, in a way, makes it feel like it is a bit of a drag, you know what I mean? Anyway, with that being said, yes, I did like the episode, and we're going to dive into my notes here. First thing first, Jadis and the fake death. This is an idea that I've always had in movies, and I'm sure a lot of you have too, where a character can simply just fake their death and they would get away with it. So I like that. I was like, yeah, that works. The inside of the container, this is where we should have been since almost the beginning. Writers, what the hell are you doing? That, the dichotomy of that, living in the trash group, the trash heap, and then having that immaculate, container on the inside where they're the living quarters. What? That's what you should have been showing us from the very beginning. Show us characters that use this unique and weird way of talking to throw their enemies off, or throw potential enemies off, and make them underestimate the trash people as just the local retards. You know what I'm saying? And then when they're together in their immaculate little living quarters, they could talk more normal. And oh my God, if they would have did that from the very beginning, I think that would have been way more interesting. You guys can leave your comments down below. What do you think about that? I do like how she breaks down a bit in her little bunker, and then she gets her composure, and then she goes out to deal with Negan. And I like Negan's like, no, what in the shit? Just tell me, what in the shit is this all about? Dylan asking the favor to Rick. I did like that moment, and especially Rick being like, yeah, I could. Knowing damn well he ain't gonna do that. We're going to circle back around on a couple of these. I'm going in order of the episode. Now, one thing that touched me a bit off, which I still don't know. I think I need to rewatch it if I liked it, didn't like it, hated it. I know I didn't love it, but Negan's escape. That situation with Negan, the flare, and the guns, it threw me off a bit, though, because we didn't really see him unless I missed it. Reaching for the guns, loosening the cords that he was tied up in. It was an awkward presentation, especially for Negan's moment. I like how he brings up Lucille. I like that moment together. Again, some of the dialogue here, I wish they would have went more with it, dived in a little more, and had that scene opened up a little bit. But again, having him tied up and laying on his back, it just felt a little awkward, the scene's appearance. Not the acting per se, it's just the position the characters are in. And I was still curious about what the hell she was doing. I mean, she's not feeding him to that thing, right? Because she even says no. Because that thing is on this cart. I mean, is there a way to tilt it? I'm like, did she just tie him up to watch Lucille burn? I don't know. That whole part, she didn't know Lucille's backstory, so she didn't really know. You get what I mean? So that whole part, again, maybe I need to rewatch. And I felt like, for me, it could have used another little polish. But I like where they're going with that, even though it does feel a little forced that they're keeping Negan. And what did I say before? This is the only problem that I have with certain writing being too predictable. You need Simon to be the bad guy, and I called this weeks ago. Go back and watch the other live streams. You need to take Negan out of this situation so Simon can really screw up and be the big bad. So the kidnap of Negan was only essentially to delay Negan's storyline and keep him out of the mix. And what did I say last time? He's probably just going to simply escape, and that's going to be that. And that's exactly what we got. And it does feel a tad bit forced. The helicopter, though, this is an interesting bit that I really hope they give us some specific payoff for. Why is it there? What is the purpose? And I know they're going to circle back around and get to that, but I want to specifically know, what was the whole deal with the flare, knowing about this helicopter, these people? What was she doing? Was she going to kill Negan? Maybe I just simply missed it. I don't catch everything on first viewing. Was she going to kill Negan after burning Lucille in front of him and then escaping away with this helicopter? Why would she wait until the last minute? The helicopter's just showing up. She has it timed. You hear the timer go off. So why didn't she deal with Negan a few minutes, 10 minutes before she has to meet the helicopter? You see where my problem is with that moment? But again, I'm not condemning it as garbage until they do the payoff and I can put 2 and 2 together and see the whole equation. You know what I mean? Settle it. Negan telling Jadis he can settle this. Obviously, he's talking about Simon. I really wish they would just, I don't know, with the dialogue, just fucking say it. Come out and say it. Be like, I didn't do this. I wouldn't do that to you and your people. You got me. I was going to kill one of you. You got me, you know? But that's because I need you to fall in line. I got to crack my back. I need you to fall in line and keep you people safe. And this is the best way for you to understand. Say something. And just have him say, I will get your revenge on Simon. Simon will be dealt with. You can be a part of this. Simon's the one. Look at, you have me here. Simon is the one. You want someone to pay for it who did it. He was there. You saw him give the orders. You saw him kill all your people. Again, I think it's a dialogue thing. I would have been fine if they came right out instead of just being like, I will settle it, you know? Rick and the Saviors. At first, when Rick got clubbed and they went to commercial break, I was kind of like, that's a bit cheap, let's just say it. And then when they came back for a commercial break, I didn't want this scene to extend into the next episode, so I love that it was dealt with swiftly, and I do like how they dealt with it within this episode, with Dylan asking for the favor, and then some of the Saviors being like, listen, let's let them go, let's go back to the hilltop, there's nothing for us. Old Rick, you know, Rick maybe, you know, before Carl died, before the war, before Glenn, old Rick would have taken them people in. He would have made a deal and stuck with his word. He wouldn't have lied. And that moment between Morgan and Jared was also a big payoff. I personally would have liked a bit more horrific gore for that moment, but it's fine that they did a close-up of the faces and the pain and anguish of the character. I wanted a tad bit more, though, gore-hungry for me, you know? But again, just because I wanted him to go a little further with it doesn't mean, you know, what they did was bad. That's just me saying, like, bring on the gore. I want Noah. You know, I want that times 2 for Jared. Anyway, when Rick stops Morgan, I think one of the most powerful moments that I personally love the most is when Rick is just like, why did you save me? Like, I just want to know. Just, I need to hear something, you know? And he says, because my son was there. I was like, man, that's a punch in the gut. I like that. I think that right there was the perfect thing you can have that character say. And we will discuss in a moment, though, Morgan's journey from The Walking Dead into Fear, because even though I initially wasn't all that excited for that type, I do really enjoy Lenny James as an actor. And I mean, I could watch him in pretty much any performance. He is just absolutely amazing. The way he brings up emotion, he doesn't overdo it. It's subtle. When it's heartbreaking, it's a gut punch. And I'm very eager to see now what we've been seeing of Fear, his transition from leaving our group, and I don't think it's going to be on bad terms. People are saying they think he's going to betray them or something. No, here's a broken man who's simply going to go out. Maybe he needs to find himself or look for other family members, you know. That could be a big thing. If there's a chance for him to go and search for other family and then run into these people from Fear the Walking Dead and we continue his story from there, I'm fine with something like that. All right, so we got Rick, Dylan. Now, this is hard. When I wrote this note, I cannot figure out how to put this into words, but there's something about certain scenes that makes the world feel real and lived in and open it up and flesh it out. Simply Rick and Morgan showing them coming back from their journey. You have Dylan sitting there, one of the Diane, the Kingdom bow and arrow girl sitting there. You have the fire, Rick walking by. There's just something in that moment that makes this world feel real and lived in. Those moments, I think, too many of them were missing here and there throughout seasons, and it's hard to put a finger on exactly what it is, but certain moments like that is what I love. That's also prevalent in the earlier seasons that I do kind of miss because the cast is so big. We gloss over certain scenes like this. And again, it's hard to put into words why, but it just, I don't know, for me, it did something. It was like, oh my God, this makes it feel lived in. That's the best way I can put it. Negan drives up and he picks up a mystery person. I don't like the whole mystery aspect. It's just a gimmick, you know. It's kind of like, oh, to get speculation in. Who the hell could he have picked up? There's only a limited amount of people he could have picked up realistically, right? Unless it's a total out of left field. It's not going to be Sherry because he would have been like, wait a minute. It's got to be Laura, right? It's got to be the missing savior. Who else could it be? If it's somebody more like, duh, Ronnie, more obvious, let me know. But it has to be Laura, which made me really interested for what's coming. And especially Negan's line, don't tell anyone Daddy's home. It's going to be a surprise. Made me think that. And then we end it on Eugene and taking out the man. That was a hurt piece, right? Yeah, Rick... Joey Cat with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Rick just April Fools them saviors. Yes, he did. He gave them the ultimate April Fools. But yeah, so they're going to take out Eugene, the bullet maker. That's why I put it in the title. Kill Eugene. This is probably going to be a tricky subject because, well, not tricky subject, but tricky material because can't they just get Eugene out of there? I know a line in the sand has been drawn, but for me it's like, oh my, you're jumping right to killing him? That's a bit. Someone said, what about Gregory? Where's Gregory? He's not in charge anymore. Gregory, he's lucky to be not locked up. So the thing with Eugene, and I think, what is this? Is this really episode 14? Yo, they got past me, yo. Man. I honestly thought it was episode 13. So there's only 2 more episodes. That is crazy. It could be Gregory. Wait, it could be Gregory that Negan picked up. Again, what would they benefit though, story-wise? Like, think about this. Story-wise, he picks up Laura. This builds tension. Did she tell Negan? You know, is she going to confront Dwight? There's tension. If he picks up Gregory, where's the story there? Where's the tension? I can't believe it's Gregory. There's just no tension. There's no story. There's no progression. What is he going to do? Oh, they're hiding out at the hilltop. They're all there. Yeah, they know this. You know what I mean? I don't want to seem like a know-it-all asshole. It's just that was my first impression of that here, and it could be Gregory. Yeah, Mary Hugh said taking the man out was a play on words. Well, that could be, honestly, but I feel like with Rosita, it would be direct. I mean, she comes from like the straightforward military Abraham aspect, survival aspect. So I feel like if she says take out the man, she literally means like, you know, Eugene's got to go. But you could be right. It could just be let's remove Eugene away from the situation, and then Eugene can't make the bullets. So it's not kill him, but it's get him out of there. Yeah, Gregory has the inside layout of the weak points of insertion. He could, but he's also not in the room when they're setting up the defensive measures that they're putting in place. So he wouldn't have any inside intel. You know what I mean? He can tell them to go over on this side. You know what I mean? But he's not involved in the guard meetings. He's not involved in where Maggie was setting up perimeters that to give them a 10-minute heads up. He's not involved in any of that. Might know possible escape routes. I mean, it could be Gregory. I just feel like, again, for me, yeah, again, Gregory knows the layout in detail. Guys, there's no layout to the hilltop. The hilltop is one street leading into this big community. That's it. As far as layout, just think about this for a moment. And again, I could be totally wrong, but think about this for a moment. What's the layout of the hilltop? You have one main street leading to this big community that's surrounded by a fence. You know, if he was going to say come from the back or something, that would just be, I feel like, common knowledge. Like, yeah. Let's see what other questions we got here. I just want to make sure I didn't skip any super chats. Okay, Joey Cow was the first one. Let me know if there's any lag. For some reason, my screen keeps pausing. Yeah. Don't do all caps, too. Cool Master and Gregory's locked up. Yeah, chill with the all caps. Because then other people will start doing it because they'll think that's the way to get it. And then the whole damn feed will be crazy. Joined a little bit ago. What do you think will happen to Simon? Oh, I think Simon's a dead man. It's just a matter now of who gets to kill Simon. All right, I'm just going to skip anyone with all caps. Please don't do all caps. I just think, wait, Chandler Rigg voiceover should be over the letters. It might happen. I think they're saving that for later if it's going to happen. Would Rick have to shoot? Okay, so listen, I totally forgot to end a clear point in my first impression review and go into the fan feedback. We're going to go into the fan feedback now. My review of the episode was pretty much the same all throughout All Out War. There's moments that I really like in this episode. I think there's a handful of moments I really like. A couple dialogue issues. The Morgan and Carol stuff, again, it is starting to feel a little dragged out, even though they're actors. I really do enjoy their performances and everything like that. But again, I'm at the point where it's like, I know they're hurting. You know, I wanna keep going on with the war. So for me, it's a bit of I like it, but I want a little more. I want to get past it already. A little antsy to move on with the storyline. With that being said, at this point, I don't think this for me was an all-out amazing video. A couple amazing moments. I love the evil Rick, the Lion Rick. I love that. Love all that stuff. So for me, it's a good episode. Yeah, it's definitely a good episode. I was expecting a touch more though. So we're gonna end the first impression review and dive immediately into your fan feedback. I'm gonna pull questions from the comments section. If you are talking with each other, that's cool. If you have a question specifically for me, it helps to put Q&A like this right here. Travis did first thing in your question, because I'll scroll down looking specifically for those. Travis says, would Rick have to get shot in the next episode for things to resolve in the finale, or could they do it all in episode 16? I feel like the Rick getting shot or wounded, whatever his bloody side was, I feel like it needs to happen in the next episode. Someone says, yeah, it keeps buffering. Let me know if it's having any other problems. Yeah, the broken mirror and clean mirror, that is, part of me really enjoys it, but when you start reading and studying like screenplay writing and movie analysis and stuff, it gets old. It's one of the oldest visual tricks in the book, is having a broken man in front of a broken mirror, and then he gets home, he's all cleaned up, he has the note from his son, and it's the clean mirror, and you zoom in on that, and it's, yeah, but I like them still. I always like it when they do that stuff. Same thing with Gracie. I think there was a broken mirror there too. I'm almost 90% sure Negan picked up either Laura or Sherry. I feel like it's gotta be Laura. If it was Sherry, it would be like, wow, what? Wait. Did we get confirmation of Negan's wife's name? Episode 5. Wait, Gabriel. I don't know if it was confirmation. I assumed it was because I was read it in a comic book. But if not, we got it now. Yeah, he would have been more crazy seeing Sherry. I thought the scene with Rick and Morgan brutally killing the Saviors, then let them free, and then the convo between Rick and Morgan was very interesting. Yeah, I like that too. Pretty lazy writing to basically give Negan a way out from the hilltop just for Jadis to let him go. Yeah, and that's, excuse me, that's where a bit of my conflict comes in. I honestly feel like there was a way they could have polished that to do what they did, but do it a little more organic, you know? Ronnie, Rick's word means nothing. What did you think of that scene? Oh, I loved it. You know? Do you think Eugene will redeem himself this season? I think he could, absolutely. You think those Saviors deserve to get butchered like that? Well, this is a bit rough. I mean, yeah, I mean, I personally don't care. I mean, you pick sides, you know what side you're on, obviously, when you're going into this battle. Every time the Saviors came to Rick and their group, they didn't have any, you know, they didn't care at all. They didn't care because they were on the winning team. Now when they're on the losing team, now they want to let Rick go, and now they want to make a deal. Now they want to go back to the hilltop. You should have did it from the very beginning, you know, or not ran away. I wouldn't have ran away. I would have stayed at the hilltop. The moment Simon said, "You guys are on your own," I never would have left. I would have stayed there. What'd you think of Carol finding Henry being a callback to where Sophia was hiding? Yeah, I like that. Obviously, we're gonna get the. I mean, it only makes sense. We'll get the Sophia callback, and it is an interesting full circle kind of for that character, or a little bit of a healing for that character, and I like it. I like when they do stuff like that. Todd Murray. Do you think Rick lying to the Saviors is a little foreshadowing to Rick and Negan final fight? Were they a curtain part that determines Negan's fate? It could be foreshadowing. It depends on how you mean it, though, you know? Would a superhero zombie show work? I think with any good writing, any show could work. A superhero zombie show, though, I think a movie would be more. I think a movie would probably fit, you know? Speaking of a zombie movie or TV show, oh my God, Santa Clarita Diet. I think I always screw this name up. It's on Netflix season 2, and I like that show. Drew Barrymore's in it, and Timothy Olyphant. I love Timothy Olyphant. He's from Justified. She turns into a zombie, and she's got to try to like slow the process down, and she kills people she works with, and all. It's funny. It doesn't sound like it'd be interesting, but it's funny. Definitely go watch it. It's kind of like a fun slapstick. It's like a more lighthearted Evil Dead, you know? There are no... Wait, hold on. There's no going to kill Rick at the end of this season. Come on, really? No, they're not going to kill Rick. Will the season finale only be in theaters? Or no, it's going to be on TV. That awkward moment when you realize Trev, girlfriend, has more subs than Ronnie. Ouch. Bro, right to the heart, bro. Are you more interesting in the helicopter storyline than the outcome of All Out War? Wait, hold on, what? Lineup, which was brutal. Wait, hold on. A character a lot. I want Negan to be a big bad other than the lineup, which was brutal. It's a letdown for me, the direction of Negan's arc and character. Yeah, I think Negan, whether you like it or not from the comic book, he is in a way a victim of his own popularity. And I think you can't argue that. I mean, there's just no way you can argue that. Kirkman now has even come out and admitted that, yeah, in the comic he was supposed to die. And I forget the details, but I think Rick was going to like bring his head in a box to Maggie or something at the hilltop. Negan was only supposed to last for 5 issues, which that always caught me off guard because they had this whole all-out war thing, and I was like, oh, wow, that came, you know, if he was supposed to die in an all-out war. But Negan became so popular in a way, we got the redemption story, and now we have a different, you know. And it is a common thing for villains to linger and stay around longer than normal villains. Like the straight evil villains like the Governor, they don't humanize them, you know, this much, to this extent. So in a way, he is a victim of his own popularity. But I like Negan, so I want him to stick around a little longer. Are you more interested in the helicopter storyline than the outcome of All Out War? No, I think I'm still more interested in the outcome of All Out War because I know the helicopter storyline will only be a little piece to some type of puzzle. I mean, some type of leading into expanding the world in the future. But again, I think it's a small piece, because if it was a huge piece, what? That doesn't fit. Some little garbage, trash group? That doesn't make any sense. Come on. If JDM stays on the show till this point, do you think Negan will be sort of a good guy like in the comic book, or imprisoned again? Love the videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Well, I think they're going to follow the comic book pretty strict as far as what happens after, and then it'll be remixed in a different light. I'm not saying it'll be similar, afterwards, but I think we'll see. We're already starting to see. If they weren't going to do the same as the comic, come on, they wouldn't have Simon be the big bad. Simple as that, I feel. Trevor says, why do you think they'll only had 17K? Wait, what? Trevor Hayes. Oh, okay. Let's get to the real questions. I don't know what you're talking about. I've only had 17,000 subscribers since December of 2016. That's wait, 2016. Oh my god. Did you miss a number? I think you missed a number. We haven't had 17,000 for a while, buddy. I hope to myself that Daryl and Rosita treat Eugene like absolute shit. Treat him like the enemy right before forgiving him. Yeah. Ronnie, I thought you predicted we'd see Heath. No, I don't remember predicting we're going to see Heath in this episode. I did say he should be coming back, sure. I mean, unless the actor has other stuff going on. Why wouldn't Dwight join Simon if he assumed Negan was dead? He only had a problem with Negan. Wait, why wouldn't Dwight join Simon if he assumed Negan was dead? He only had a problem with Negan? Well, Dwight doesn't want Simon's way to rule either. Yeah, Dwight isn't just like, I just want a new leader. Dwight doesn't want Simon to kill everybody. Dwight just wants everyone to stop fighting and killing each other. You know what I'm saying? He's sick of it. He doesn't want no part in that. He only got into the killing to save Sherry and help Sherry, and she's gone. He just wants everyone to stop fighting. And Simon is the opposite of that. So he doesn't want that. Tonight was a good show in my opinion. Whatever I think it was lacking tonight was more made up watching Jared. He'd be slowly eaten alive. What is the strongest community out of all three? That's a tough one. I think it's a solid tie. It really is. I mean, you have some solid fighters in Alexandria. The Hilltop's a little slim for the pickings. You have the Kingdom, which probably has the most people, but they're regular people. They're not fighters like that. They're not hardened survivors. So it's a tough, it's tough. Do you think Negan will kill Simon next episode? Again, I hope not. And I don't think he will. I think Simon's going to die in the finale. Carol got close to another kid. Does that pretty much confirm Henry's death? No, I don't think so. Do you think seeing the extremely clean room of Jadis, the heap could be covering a military or prepper community that was abandoned? Again, no, I still think it was just what she said it was, but again, I could be totally wrong on that. You don't think it was Heath talking to Negan? They said they were bringing him in towards this part of the season. It could be Heath, sure, but Heath doesn't know Negan. You know what I'm saying? And Negan doesn't know Heath. So I don't know that they would have that kind of reaction or that, they could. That's a holy crap, stranger, you look like shit. Yeah, maybe it could be Heath. Again, now we got to think, what would the story be if it was Heath? Where would it go from there? Yeah, why would they make him do good things while he was dark if he was just going to die a villain? I think I don't think they're just going to kill Eugene right now. I don't know. Something in the story just doesn't fit. Again, he could die story-wise because that girl dropped off the key to the future thing, but again, yeah, it doesn't seem like it fits the full arc of his story to die like the villain. Yeah, Cameron Stewart asked if Morgan will return to the show. I hope he does. I really hope he does. Do you think the Sanctuary came before the Kingdom? What do you mean? As far as it was built? Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, like the one. What do you think of how they changed Negan's character, like deviating from comic Negan? So, part of me still wants the comic Negan, you know, or wanted the comic Negan, but now I'm just focused on enjoying the TV Negan. So the buffering is bad now. Yeah, I don't know what YouTube is doing. It says the live stream is all, you know, all good, all green. It might be on YouTube's end. I don't know. Do you think they added Muslim characters to appease liberals? No, I don't think so. I think, and I know you're trolling question. I don't know why every week you come here just to ask troll questions, but in all honesty, I think we just need to shut up and accept the fact that everyone's dying to be on the cutting edge of diversity. We just need to deal with it until everyone's done with it, and then we can get back to, you know, just telling stories. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Yeah, I hate anything forced. Does anybody know what Ronnie thinks of this episode? Yeah, I said it was good. How did the whore just disappear at the Roadhouse bar? I thought they killed them. Ronnie, if you could be a Fortnite version of you in The Walking Dead, how long would you last? Pretty damn long. As long as I had a guided missile. Speaking of that, the Fortnite video, it is late. I was with family today, obviously, but I recorded an Easter Fortnite video, and it's up. It's ready to go. When we get off the live stream here, I'm going to post it live. So it's a fun little one, but I got a few coming, and then that's going to get us into the daily content. So from here on out, we should be doing at least Fortnite back-to-back, and then I'll build up the other content, and I can start putting it out, and then we're going to get on a schedule. I'm hyped about that, but do you think the helicopter is related to the Commonwealth? In a way, I think it has to be, because what else would they be adding, you know? Magna's group? I don't think so. Are you going to play Overkill's The Walking Dead? Yeah. Was the helicopter indication that we'll get Commonwealth in Season 9 and skip the Whispers? No, we're not skipping Whispers. Put Whispers and Fear the Walking Dead instead. No, I'd be fuming. I would be furious if they put it in Fear the Walking Dead instead. I don't think there's any reason to skip the Whispers. As a matter of fact, I will find the article, but I'm like 98% sure Gimple straight out said we will get the Whispers in The Walking Dead, the original show. Not right this second, but we will get it. What do you think of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 trailer? Oh, I loved it. Still want one of the episodes to be called Something to Fear. Yeah, so do I. One of the Whisper episodes would be cool. Why do people not want it to be Laura? Negan has to find out the truth. There's only 2 episodes left. I don't know why people... I haven't seen anyone say why they don't want it to be Laura, so I don't know. What we got? Shocked that the season is almost over. Yeah, it felt like it went by quick, but they all do. Spidey says, do you think Enid or Henry will take on Comic Carl's storyline? I think a lot of characters have the potential to take on Comic Carl's storyline. Thank you very much, Colton. No, the Massacre at the Roadhouse wasn't in the comics. None of that was in the comics. The episode was decent, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to play the Walking Dead game. Not even later this year, coming up soon. We're starting with the Fortnite videos now. Like, I've been talking about this for a couple months now. Fortnite videos, Fortnite videos. We got the Outlast. We got the Last of Us to finish up. Whenever the hell they release that, Days Gone, whatever the hell that is. We got the Walking Dead Telltale games. We're doing that whole series up until the new one coming out. Yeah, we're going to be running through all that. We got, what else did you say? And then, yeah, so you asked about that. So yeah, that's all coming. What do you think of an all evil children group? No, hell no, hell no. I think for me, that's something that you saw a lot in the 90s, maybe even made in the 80s, but I didn't watch it till the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And I never, even as a kid, I always thought that was stupid. I know people enjoy that stuff, but I always thought it was dumb. I know when I was little, so many people were like, oh, Children of Corn, so scary. Even as a kid, I watched it and I was like, I don't know, this is not scary. That could be my bias, though. Do you think Henry's actor is terrible at acting? I think all kids are terrible at acting. How's that? No, I'll go rewatch it again. Nothing yanked me out of it that screams terrible, but again, it is really dark, and for some reason on first viewing, I always have a problem. When I rewatch it, it's clearer. I'll go back and double check. We'll discuss that later. Ronnie, do you think we will see everyone else get the letters Carl wrote them? Yeah, I think so. I think we should. I thought the letters were supposed to be really important. What do you think of the Walking Dead color tops? I don't. It's not my thing. I like them. I like the idea. I love the detail. Not a fan of the color tops. If you're collecting for the Walking Dead, you don't want it to be blended with other franchises. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always against that from the beginning. It was illogical. It didn't make any sense. When you're collecting, NECA's Predator, you don't have to collect, what's something that is totally unrelated. Like, if you get NECA's Predator, I don't have to collect Coraline just to have the complete collection. No, you collect just the Predator. It's one Predator set, if that's what you're into. With The Walking Dead, I just don't know why McFarlane Toys decided to combine them together with other franchises that had nothing to do with one another. And as a fan, I spoke out about it because I was hoping they would change that, and they didn't. And now they started dropping the color tops. So, I mean, and I know the companies, they have successes, but no matter how many successes you got, sometimes you can have bad ideas. And the color tops was just flat out a bad idea. On top of that, taking away the articulation, again, just a bad idea. And I think all those hurt the production of the Walking Dead figures. They seem like they were on a roll, and now it's just sprinkled here and there, bad poses, that's another thing that's really hurting them as far as sellability. I love, Negan. I have the whole little Negan corner. I have no desire for the 10-inch Negan because you can't do anything with that pose. It's a terrible pose. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Do you get the vibe that Morgan was about to spaz on Henry? For a moment there, I was like, oh, I'm getting this weird, he's going to stab him in the neck vibe. It would be one of those funny April Fools. Yo, Ron, Don. What was your 2 favorite Walker kills? Mine was the one Rick in episode 3 and 6. Thank you. And Tyrese when he was battling the Walkers on the train tracks. I don't know if I have specific Walker kills that I love, but there's a handful of them I really do enjoy. I like the ones where Rick stuck the gun in the mouth and shot the one through the other one. I like stuff like that, or practical gags. I really like those. Like when they pulled one I really like is when they pulled in the prison, the gas mask off of the Walker, or the riot shield or whatever, and it had the skeleton there. I love those practical effects. I love that. Do you think they are rehashing some of the same conversations too many times? Yeah, a bit, and it is feeling a bit dragged out. When are the Whispers coming? Season 9. I said that spin. I wasn't like, oh, all right. I feel as if the fractured storylines might be hindering the quality of this season's content. Yeah, fractured storyline is something. I call them split and blended. Split storylines is something that I think hurts the flow of a TV show. And we see this in more than The Walking Dead. When it's done right, Game of Thrones manages to do it right, blended, and it's really good. Stranger Things, for example, had a blended storyline pretty much, the best they could without revealing some things too early. And then all of a sudden, in one episode, they did a split storytelling for one episode. I loved it. I'm in the minority because everyone, when I went online, they hated that episode. I think it was like episode 7. That is a split episode that a lot of fans spoke out about, that they didn't like it. It messed with the flow, and it didn't feel like Stranger Things. It felt out of place. It felt like they were setting up a side story or a spin-off that was just not what they wanted to be back. I get what they mean, because if I watch Stranger Things week to week, I would have problems with that, because they left on an awesome cliffhanger with Hopper, being in trouble. But since I can watch the episodes back to back, since it's released at once, I didn't care. I just watched one to watch the other, you know what I mean? But yeah, I do think split storytelling is not, it's not as enjoyable as blended storytelling for week to week, especially. Reagan Pinto, thank you very much for the $5 super chat support. If Merle was alive, where do you think Daryl would be? Do you think he'd be as close as he is with Rick and the rest of it? Yeah, honestly, if Merle was alive, I think at his moment, Michonne would have forgiven him in that moment, and they would have went back and eventually defeated the governor, and Merle would have integrated into the group. Obviously, he would still be Merle, but I think he would have integrated, not as well as Daryl, but I think he would have found a place by the group, not exactly in the group, because he showed some promise at the very end, when he's aware, when he's so self-aware that he knows, he turned to his brother, and he's like, I can't go back there. I damn near killed the Chinese kid, and he said he's Korean or whatever. Yeah, he's self-aware enough. I think it could have worked. Yes, it is like that. Awesome channel, Ronnie. That is all. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. A nice comment and a $15 super chat support. I really appreciate that. Glad you enjoy it. Ronnie, did you think Carol and Rick were illusions too? No, I didn't. What do you mean? Do you think lowering the episode count from 16 to 10 would improve the show? No. I've talked about this numerous times. If you're going to tell a story, it doesn't matter in 10 episodes or 15 episodes. Excuse me. You're telling the same story. So you're going to get the same thing. If you had less episodes, you would just have certain B stories taken out altogether. That isn't necessarily a good thing, because you'd also lose other B stories that are absolutely awesome. Like, for example, you might not have the savior moment, which some of these moments, even though you're watching week to week and you're like, I don't, it's not that. I want something different. I want something more. There's too many episodes. You got to understand is one real good thing the writers try to do all the time is they try to the best of their ability, give it a natural flow and a progression to the characters, the story, and the character arcs. You know what I'm saying? They don't want, like a bad TV show, for example, a bad writing would have Morgan go from crazy to fine. That's okay in 2 episodes because the season's only 10 episodes long. You know what I'm saying? They need Morgan to have this, and sometimes it is a bit of a drag because we are dealing with it for a long period of time, and I do blame that on the fact that it needs to blend into Resident Evil. What's that show? Fear the Walking Dead. But again, they want it to be organic, the way the characters evolve. You think, wait. Even on Easter, no Jesus. Muse, thank you very much. Stop trolling. Matt Rules, happy Easter. Yeah, there's only a couple. That's why just ignore them, guys. We get the same 2 or 3 people every week. We usually just let them go as long as they're harmless. Just ignore them. It should be easy though. They, same, like I said, 2 or 3 people every week. We've been ignoring them this whole time, so just continue to ignore them. It'll be fine. Thoughts on the season 7 finale of Got? I'm excited. How about that? I really don't know where they're gonna go with the story. Ronnie, big fan from Toronto. Will Andy grow his beard huge like in the comics? How do you think he'll die? At this point in time, I have no clue when it comes to how he's gonna die. His hair, because I want him to be season 1 fresh again. But because he told Carl that he's going to make it real, I think they might do the long beard. Did you read about how Jeffrey Dahmer quit the show after Darabont was fired? Oh, yeah, we knew about that. Comic Negan versus TV show Negan? What do you mean? Like, which character do I like the best, or in a fist fight? Fist fight, it'd be Comic Negan. He's huge. Do you think they will eventually show Rick or Daryl have a conversation with Carol since she's the only other survivor still? Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Do you think seeing the extremely clean room of Jadis, the heap could have been covering a military prepper? I think you asked that already. No, I mean, I know some people are obsessed with the military or prepper idea, but listen, I'm into prepping survival stuff. If I had the money, I'd be, active in it. But I love that shit, like the concept, the idea. Nothing about Jadis's bunker screamed prepper. She didn't prepare for shit. She had, nothing. No stockpile, no food, no ammo. It was just a clean living quarter. And she only had a bag to travel. There's a helicopter, which means this is possibly just somewhere for her to strictly sleep, There was food hidden that we saw in the junk heap. She had a couple guns hidden in that little room. But I honestly believe that was a clean little room for her to, hide out in. They lived at the junkyard for its, strategic positioning. No one's going to scavenge at a junkyard, They're going to loot other shit. I don't think nothing screams prepper, in my opinion. Or military. Doesn't this episode frustrate you? They speak in this hazy philosophical. Yep, we talked about the dialogue. The crying with Morgan and Carol had me rolling my eyes. See, and that's the thing too. Some of the emotions, like I love the actors and their work. And again, it boils down to the dialogue. I really wish they would stop with the philosophical crap. Stop trying to make it sound poetic. And just have them talk just open and honest and just blunt, how people do. Are we down at the bottom? Okay, let's scroll up. I think we missed some comments. No, I've never seen Supernatural. I watched a little bit, but no, I'm not a fan. You think it is realistic portrayal of how people would deal with death and killing in this world? I thought the emotions from Carol, Morgan, Michonne, and Rick were all moving and realistic. Yeah, some people would. The emotions, what they're going through, absolutely. I think the majority of people, similar to me, has just a problem with some of the dialogue, how they portray that, Not how they portray it as in their emotions and how they act and cry, and, that's all fine. It's just some of the dialogue, it feels like it's trying to be too poetic, instead of being just more realistic and grounded. Did you think the camera look was a little off when Rick was looking at Carl's hat? It was just a different style. Director's choice, that's it. But I was fine with it. If you mean about the way they blur it, that's just to focus on the hat, that's all. To get the audience to focus on that. It's just a technique, that's all it is. I was fine with it. Do you think the actor who plays the Hound on Got would make a good Beta? Yeah, he would. He would. Yes, I think Carol could get a Michonne story from the comics and leave. However, it's during the time skip, so we won't see it. I think I'm 50-50. They don't need to have it. Morgan's leaving. He can take that. Plus, keep in mind, we don't even need that storyline in the show. It doesn't do anything for the show. So we honestly don't even need it. No one can take it. Ronnie, did you notice that the boy was hiding in the creek where Sophia was? Yeah, it wasn't the creek where Sophia was, because keep in mind, they are 600 miles away from where Sophia died. But if you mean just like Sophia was. Yeah, I love when they do those things. Ronnie, do we know what the end game for The Walking Dead is? Seems like it isn't going anywhere. There's no end. We're watching people survive in a zombie apocalypse. If you're looking for an end game, you're just not paying attention. I'll be brutally honest. This isn't, and I know most shows, so it's common to look for like where it's headed. Like the world is surrounded by a barrier, and aliens are forcing us to work in factories. Yes, you have an end game. Everything has an end game. This is a little bit different, though. We are watching people survive over the long term in a post-apocalyptic, zombie-filled world. There isn't an end game in that aspect. When we get an end game, it's going to be in that final season or maybe the final 2 seasons. But we shouldn't see it until then. There's no reason to see it until then. And if you want to go even further, because it's a survival horror show, the whole thing is an end game. You know what I mean? Wherever they end up, this whole path has been taking them there. If you want them to hear government and viruses or cures, and that's just not the show. That's just not the show. Will Overkill's The Walking Dead have a craftable Lucille? I'm not sure. Well, that's kind of spoilery if they just copy Carl's visions. Oh, man. Yeah, funny. Who were the saviors shooting at the beginning of this episode? Who were the saviors shooting at? Did I miss the beginning? The troll. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that beginning. I don't know what you're talking about. Did we get any new info on Jadis' helicopter mystery? No. A separate video on where it's coming from. I mean, I could do a video and I could rack up views on that. If you guys want me to, I will. But let's be honest, I don't have much to say. I can pull. Listen, if I wanted to clickbait it, I would connect it with Commonwealth, do this video and how it's connected, and it could be. It honestly could be connected. But at this point in time, that's just a leap or a stretch. But if I wanted to cash in on some views, I'd go there. That would be a clever thing to do because it makes sense. It does. It honestly makes sense to make those connections, and it's going to be a sought after video. We might do the discussion, but like I said, I feel like anymore, I am trying to maneuver around certain videos to where if it's too much speculation or we don't have enough information, I just feel like I'm wasting your time. And in the future, I want to buffer it down to where we're doing, exactly what we need to do as far as not wasting time with certain videos that are all speculation. Because on the flip side, it is good to bring in a lot of the subscribers. It works well. But videos like that, once it's not important anymore, they get zero traction. It's just a dead video. It's like one that it pops at first and then it's gone. No one's interested in it. In the future, I want to make videos where people continue to watch, maybe a year, 2, 3 years later, because that really helps the channel out. Making a video where people watch like crazy for 1 month and then nobody watches ever again, it actually, in the past, it hurts the channel because then you have so many videos like that, you'll notice a drop. The channel will go from, let's say you're making $1,000 a month, you'll drop to $180 in a month. You know what I mean? You'll set up things and be like, oh my God, I could take this 1,000, reinvest it, get this and this and this. 2 months later, your channel's pulling in $120 4 months in a row because no one's watching those prediction videos. So it is a little bit of a juggling act, That is a true story, though. At one point in time, I was pulling in like $1,200 in ad revenue. This was when ad revenue was good, when we were coming up. And something happened with The Walking Dead. I think it was when it was going in the off season, and a lot of this stuff was revealed. A lot of the videos that were getting hundreds of thousands of views, and the ad revenue went from $1,200 to like $180 a month. That's what I pulled in for like 7 months straight. almost $200 a month. No bullshit. And this is before the ad crisis. We were only at like what, 50K subs or something like that, 70K, 60, something was floating around there. I forget. Did we know what the end game? Oh, we already did that. I'm late, but I'm excited for the last 2 episodes. Hell yeah, this is it. Hey, Ronnie, don't know if anyone asked about Rosita killing Eugene. Who do you think can take that storyline, or would it be bad writing to not redeem him? I think it's a weird way. I agree with the MAPP family. It's a weird way to end that character's story arc. But again, we don't need anyone to take his story, because that girl gave us a book of the future, a key to the future. So, who's in the chopper? We don't know. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got a super chat with a smiley face. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat support. Only Alyssa says, will Simon's death be a big enough payoff for the fans? The writing feels a bit rushed and forced. I think it has the potential to be that big payoff. This is something, keep in mind, if you go back, I think last season I was asking for this. I feel like that's the way it should be, because we already know the direction they want to go for Negan. Simon's death needs to be the big payoff, you know? Alright, what is going on? It looked like the video feed skipped a little bit. I did say, if the video skipped, I did say, thank you very much for this super chat support. I appreciate that. On my screen, it looked like it skipped all that. Why did Negan pick up the cameraman at the end? Because he was apologizing for bashing his head in 2 seasons ago. Boom. Who were the saviors shooting at the beginning of the episode? I missed that. I clearly missed that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Who will Negan take care of first, Simon or Dwight? I'm not even sure if Negan will do it, because if Negan does it, there's no more story for the survivors. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to mention Morales when I asked if Rick and Daryl would ever have a conversation about. No, I don't think we'll get that. Again, I think if they were going for some type of realism and they wanted to bring that up in a conversation, I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. A little conversation. But again, Hollywood, they're too smart for their own good, apparently. It's a rule in Hollywood. You never write something the audience already knows, or at least you try your best to do that as very little as possible. So no, I don't think they'll ever bring it up. Although it would be a cool thing to bring it up. Wait, are there different writers? Yes, every episode. On the other episode, Jadis' people were gunned down while she watched. In this episode, Jadis runs away and hides, and there's a gunfight going on. What the hell? Who though? Yeah, here's some of the problems with some continuity in this, that, and the third. There's different writers per episode, and each writer gets like, I think, 2 episodes a season. I think there's 8 writers total. They each do 2 episodes, and that's the 16 episodes. Some of them co-write, and it's the same writers season to season. Some seasons writers go, and we get a couple new ones, I think, but it happens rare, I think. Anyway, we do see continuity errors, like Sam saying "mom, mom," which is a good cliffhanger gimmick, and then when we returned, it was like that never happened. Same thing here. They wanted to focus on the horror of her watching all her people get gunned down, and now we see her run away while they're getting gunned down, and for me it makes it feel like they want us to believe she watched a little bit and then she like slowly backed away or just full ran away and then she ran. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we have to come up with some of that ourselves. Oh, wait, why are people lying about Lauren Cohan leaving the show? Fake news. That's a whole... I don't know who you're talking about that's saying that, though. People are worried she might be leaving the show. That's a legit worry. There's more to that, though. Thanks for answering my question. You're the only channel I watch for The Walking Dead. Appreciate you only doing quality videos with solid content, not clickbait, while I keep coming back. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wait, I still miss Glenn. Was it a mistake? No, I don't think it was a mistake. I miss him too. It just wasn't a mistake, in my opinion. Ronnie, do you think Morgan will be mad when Rick decides to let Negan live? Yeah, I think he's not going to be happy about it, but Morgan's also dealing with his own shit, you know? How would you feel about Merle still being alive instead of Daryl? That's a rough one. I think Daryl is more relatable, you know what I mean? Being the younger brother, the one, I don't know. No, I think Daryl is a better fit. I think Merle should have lasted a little longer, sure. I found Negan and Jadis' interaction so fake and weird. What did you think? Yeah, like I said, there's an awkwardness to it, and I think maybe it's because of the way he was strapped down, laying down. They didn't show him at least getting the gun. There was a gun, her pictures, and they've done this a couple times, like showing the car wreck afterwards, and it's like, wait, they're in a car accident? Negan's in a car accident? What? Negan getting the gun with the pictures and the flare? When I immediately saw it, it looked kind of ridiculous, you know? And that's because there's no setup. There's no his hand reaching for a flare, wiggling loose in it. And then it's like, oh, okay, this son of a bitch, has a gun and a flare. There's no setup. It's like immediately you see him just like this. Hey, bitch, I'm going to burn this shit right here and try to shoot you. I don't know. It's kind of silly. Did you see Greg Nicotero interview about Cold Weather spinoff? I know you have been talking about that forever. Yeah, he did say, though, that that's probably not going to happen for a long time, or if ever. But yes, we will be talking about that. Greg Nicotero would love to do a winter zombie, and I would, oh my God, I love that. Ronnie, do you think Gabriel will survive? I'm 50-50 on Gabriel. New Negan lineup coming in finale. Do you think, I think we're past that. Do you think Jesse should have died? Shouldn't have died? No, she should have died. Did you like to call back to Rick tricking Primo at the outpost with Carol with Maggie in this episode? Honestly, I didn't even I'll be honest. No, I didn't even think about that. I never thought Rick tricked Primo. I know Rick said they would trade, but we all knew Rick was going to kill Negan. And once Primo said, I'm Negan, Rick was like, I'm sorry, but you're going to die. I didn't get that. Maybe I missed some. How many season 1 characters are still alive? Do the math, bro. Why will Morgan leave the group? Thought he'd leave tonight, honestly. Why will Morgan leave the group? I don't know. Put your thoughts and opinions down below. I either think he needs to just step away or he's going to go look for family. Wait, what? What was up with the Daryl and Rosita scenes being the exact same scene as last week's preview? I don't know what you mean. Hey, Ronnie, you forgot to check out my Lucille and Messenger. Oh, wait, what? Also, do you think... yeah. Facebook is just getting harder and harder with... originally, I was open anytime anyone wanted to contact me on Facebook. Once I got around the 100K mark, I noticed it's just getting harder and harder. At any given time, I have 90-some always open Messenger on Facebook, like messages coming through. And it doesn't matter if I answer or look at or try to get to 10, 20, 30. It's just constantly filling up. So Facebook is just hard. But I'll try my best. You said you have a Negan bat to look at. Do you think Rick will keep Negan alive, or do you think he will stay determined to kill him? He's going to keep him alive. Why won't AMC give The Walking Dead a bigger budget? Because the how do I say this as clearly as possible? The less money AMC uses on The Walking Dead to make so much money, the more money the people behind the scenes can make. You know what I mean? Like, besides the cast and crew, you have the people, all different types of people making money off The Walking Dead. And those people would make less, essentially, if the budget went up. you get less profits. So in my opinion, I do believe that the budget is suffering because they want as many profits as possible. That's pretty much it. Unless there's a different reason out there. Why did she hide a dead body under a bunch of garbage instead of just hiding under the garbage herself? It would have been faster. Yeah, but here's the thing. They see a body under the garbage, they might look, and then they'll find her alive or hiding and kill her. And she could fake that she's dead, but what if they don't believe her? This way, if they see a body under garbage and they look, it's dead. And then they see her all bloody, and they're not going to, who's going to look? Who's going to, investigate? Her eyes are open, there's blood pouring out of her neck. No one's going to care. Come on. They're going to keep it moving. So I like what they did there. All right, where are we at here? On an hour and 5 minutes. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Lots of buffering tonight. It must be on YouTube's end, yo. Yeah, let's wrap it up. YouTube is doing something because I just double-checked my computer. There's no updates, no issues, no errors. And the stream health has been perfect. So it's got to be on YouTube's end. We're going to wrap it up, though, and we're beginning our video, constant content. We're going to try to kick that off soon. Like I said, right after this video, I'm going to post the new Fortnite video I got for you guys, and then tomorrow, later in the day, we could follow up. If you guys want to do a little mini one on the helicopter, like I said, I don't have much concrete stuff to add to the conversation, but... Do you want to see a flashback of Season 2, Shane and Rick's head saying he couldn't protect? Nah, I'm good on that. I'm fine just rewatching the season, to be honest. Could Fear the Walking Dead's 4th season open with Morgan entering Texas? It most likely will. Do you think TV-only fans will hate it when Negan survives? Some of them, yeah. Wait, who is more menacing villain, the governor or Negan? In different ways. Negan has... certain ways because of how he carries himself in certain situations, but the governor's touched in that he's unpredictable way. So in a way, it's the governor, you know what I mean? Kyle Nelson with a $5 super chat support. Little late to the party, but I thought tonight was a good episode. Go buy Doomsday Kingdom. Hell yeah. Thank you very much for that support, buddy. Where are we at? It's going to be really interesting to see Negan being captured and thrown in jail. Hell yeah. Let's see what else we got. I'm looking for some questions here. Wait, I hope personally Morgan stays on for at least season 4 and 5 of Fear. Hopefully this opens up the possibility for future universe crossovers. Yeah, me too. Just got here. Sorry if this has already been asked, but why did Lucille not have a lot of burn marks? Because they didn't really burn her. They used a different bat. They're not big on consistency here. I'll look just to make sure there wasn't burn marks and we just didn't notice it, but they probably just, let's pretend it didn't burn as much. That's probably what they thought. Did Jadis contact a helicopter to come get her, or does the chopper come on a regular basis? That's something I would love to know. Do you think Rick keeping Negan alive will torpedo his relationship with Maggie in the show? I think it will cause some friction. And again, Hollywood loves conflict. Conflict is king in storytelling. So I think that is perfect for the storytelling coming up. Makes me feel so insignificant seeing how buff Trev is. I thought he was tubby. Well, someone has problems. How would the Saviors have fared if the governor was their leader? Oh, pretty bad. The moment they showed weakness, he would have shot them all. Great stuff, Ronnie. Do you think viewing The Walking Dead since premiere rather than binge watching is entirely a different experience? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Will Rick lose his hand at the end of Season 8? He shouldn't. I'm dying for some flashbacks of past seasons. Why? Just go watch the past seasons. Spin 2020 with a $5 super chat support. Do you plan on doing your live stream immediately after the finale, or will you wait until after the Fear premiere? Good question. I think at this point, until we have any solid suggestions, I think we're going to wait until after the Fear premiere. I think that's best. I don't really see any other way around it, because I want to be able to talk about the Fear premiere. What if it's super good? You know what I mean? So it's tricky. Did you notice Carol and Ezekiel holding hands by the fire? Yep. Have a great night. Thank you very much. Do you feel bad for Jared when he was begging? No way. No way. I wish it was slower. Would you like for Rick to read about Carl's letter or voiceover? Either or. I'm good with either or. Did you notice Carol and Ezekiel holding hands by the... Oh, yeah. A lot of people like that, huh? We got it, The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead crossover. Why not a Ronnie and Trev crossover? Seen the Deadpool 2 trailer? If not, we can do a skit then. He does skits, doesn't he? He does skits, right? Ronnie, have you seen the Deadpool 2 trailer? If not, you need to check it out. Yeah, I seen that. It looks great. Wait, what would have happened if Negan was the leader of Woodbury instead of the Saviors? Same thing. Same thing as the Sanctuary, you know? Yeah, I think the lag... YouTube is doing something. The stream health is fantastic. You guys can even see it right here. If I move this... if I move this, see this green bar? To the left here, it says the stream health. And it's green. It's good. It's all good. And when I check on the stats... all the stream health stats are fine. So it must be on YouTube's end. I don't know what's going on, but I do notice once in a while when you're uploading videos, it's usually instant in the past, but lately YouTube's been delayed for a couple hours. It'll be like YouTube is processing your video 3 hours, and it's like, what? That's new. They've never, ever, in how many years I've been doing this, they've never had that issue. All right, so last couple questions and let's roll, and then we got more content coming throughout the week. How do you think Rick gets injured, and do you think they'll ever be stupid enough to kill him off? Eventually, he has to get killed off. He can't be on the show forever. Show's dead once he goes. Also love your channel. Watch your videos every day. Thank you very much. I do appreciate your support, but I do also understand the show being dead when he goes. In a certain way, the show will be dead when he goes. But if they do it right, I think the show can, the franchise can continue after him. But I do think that the original show, when they wrap it up with the original main characters, that should be that. And then they should go on with the additional content. I think that would be a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? A nice balance, you know? What would the last scene of season 8 be? I've no. Prepping for what's to come. Do you think Carol was relieved to save Henry because all the kids she cared for died? Probably. If Morgan has to ever die, his final words would be impossible to say. He'd probably still say, I don't die, as he's dying and crying. Alright. I want the characters to acknowledge past events and recognize them through flashbacks, like through Rick, like Shane's words, and not protecting Carl. Now, I get what you mean. Some people like that, some don't. It depends, you know. Wait, I don't think The Walking Dead will be dead when he goes. The Walking Dead universe can continue on, in my opinion. Well, see, that's what I just said, though. The Walking Dead universe can continue, and I'm all for that. But the original show, no matter how you cut it, there's 98% chance it's just not going to hold the same. So it'd be best for them to end the original show and come out with a new one. You know what I mean? Or continue with Fear, depending on if that's still rocking on. Or continue with Fear and bring out a new one. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fans that would just appreciate that better instead of somebody trying to fill Rick's shoes. You see what I'm saying? Rick's shoes, Daryl's shoes. Because you'd be watching it and you're like, it's just not the same as the old characters. But if you start out with a new show that's a spin-off, I don't know. I think fans are more welcoming to that than new people replacing the old characters. So, all right, we're going to get going. What's up with Rick being all bloody? He got injured. He got injured on his side, and that's coming up probably in the next episode. Wait, you said I feel like he tricked Primo. He made him think there was going to be some sort of trade, but he killed him anyway, then did to this guy. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't... Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. I just seen someone say Ronnie has Rick cleavage, and I just looked. I was like, what? I just looked, and yeah, Rick's popping out on my shirt. That's funny. I'm like Superman, but with Rick. I pull this down. It's my Rick shirt. But what was I saying? Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I want to know what Carl wrote in the letters too. Why haven't we gotten more Jesus this half of the season? I don't know, Bo. I don't know. Yeah, The Walking Dead did a April Fool's about a fake Daryl, which I don't know how people would even fall for that, because keep in mind, it says Skybound. Skybound doesn't own the rights to Daryl Dixon. They can't do that. So when I saw the crossbow, I immediately thought, is that a Dwight, movie? I didn't even think Daryl. Skybound can't do a Daryl one, so but it was nice that they did that though. They did it a couple years before with Dwight in the comic with Daryl's whatever. All right. Your dad is wearing the same exact shirt, this white one. Why is there never a Walker wearing shorts ever? Not once that I can remember. I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming out. Everyone hitting the channel up with the Super Chat support. The mods for regulating like bosses in the comment section. And then anyone interested in the Fortnite video, the new one's going to be uploaded today. We have one tomorrow. And then depending on the schedule, the Fortnite videos will come out in a row. And then we're going to get building up on the content that's going to be coming out, so that way in the future we can have the schedule. So keep an eye out for the MAPP gaming videos. Those are coming out. That's pretty much all I should have said. So where's the stop stream button? Love you guys, and I will see you here for the second to last episode of The Walking Dead next Sunday. Hopefully YouTube won't have this lag issue. All right, good night, guys.